everyone, wagwan, hope all is well with you. So today's video, as you would have seen in the title, and yes, I'm just getting straight into it, is about postpartum. Before I get into everything, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Don't forget to like and leave a comment, and if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe. All right, now as I said, today's video is about postpartum. Now, I did ask a question on my social media pages, that's Facebook and Instagram, and I asked persons to go ahead and ask me questions, maybe about the pregnancy that they would want to know, or about my postpartum. I didn't get a lot of responses, but that's fine. I did get responses, and it's okay. I'm not going to lie and be like one of them, like everybody's been asking me how this has been going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the questions that persons asked me, as well as some questions from the internet as well. So I'll just mix them. Before I do that, I'm going to be doing a subscriber feature every video that I put out. I'm gonna try. I hope I remember, because sometimes I don't know, this pregnancy brain still on me, right? So give it up for this subscriber. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you taking the time out to leave a comment for me as well. All right, big up yourself every time, right? So some time ago as well, I asked a question on my social media page about postpartum and not feeling like yourself, and I asked a few mothers how long it took for them to feel like themselves and so on. So I'm going to share those comments at some of them, because it was a whole lot of comments. It was over 100 replies that I got, so I can't share everything because it was between WhatsApp, Instagram, and also Facebook. I'm surprised that I got so many responses, because I mean, postpartum is something that not a lot of people talk about, which is surprising, right? So let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna have my phone in hand because I'm going to be going through it to look at the questions that were asked. The first question I want to answer is, how am I? And I think maybe the how am I is more than just I hope the ring light in my glasses isn't too distracting, but because it's nighttime now, I didn't get to record any videos during the daytime because mama is busy, right? So forgive me if it is a bit distracting. So how am I? I am great. I'm not amazing, and I'm not doing poorly. I'm doing great. I want to say I'm grateful for life. I'm always grateful for life. I'm always grateful for the people in my life, and good experiences, bad experiences, everything. I'm doing great, honestly. And I'm doing better than I was a few weeks ago and a few months ago as well. So yeah, that's how I am, being a new mother and everything. I'm tired sometimes. I'm not tired right now because I had a 1 hour nap today. So sorry, right? So I had a 1 hour nap today, so I'm not so tired now. But I usually am. But I have a really cool baby, really relaxed, no trouble, no fussiness or anything like that. So that makes it manageable. Yeah, that's how I'm doing. Thank you for asking. Right? Is motherhood what you expected? And what's my favorite thing about motherhood? In some parts it is what I expected, in other parts not really. And I'll say this, pregnancy and motherhood in general is not, there are a lot of aspects that I didn't expect. When I envisioned myself pregnant, yes, I thought maybe I would be sick, have, you know, morning sickness and so on, but I never knew what the feeling was going to be like. So I could only assume, and I was like, no, it's not gonna be that bad, because, you know, usually for my monthly I get sick as well, I feel sick. So, you know, I never really expected it to be maybe as bad as it was, or not as bad as it was. I didn't really have any expectations of it. Motherhood, no. No, it's not what I expected. Like, I expected to feel joy, but I didn't expect to feel the, or go through the motions that I was going through, or that I am going through, in terms of, you know, not feeling like myself again as yet, and the joy, like it's so unexplainable. Like, the feeling is so unexplainable. I never knew it's like I never knew I could love something or someone this much. Like, it's such a new feeling. It's amazing, but it's also a scary feeling, because, and I think that's what put me, if you watch my other video, then you would have heard me say that I am so over protective of my, you know, little family that I have. So no, it's not what I expected. You know, like breastfeeding, and, you know, the lack of sleep and all of that, where people tell you, and that's why I wasn't taking a lot of advice, people tell you, yes, you're not gonna get out, you know, you're not gonna get no sleep, you know. And I kind of amped myself up for that, because I was like, okay, fine. So people say I'm not gonna get no sleep, I'm going to lack that and so on. And yes, I've missed sleep, but I mean, with my baby, he is 3 months and he's already sleeping through the night. No, so yes, I've missed sleep, but it hasn't been terrible where I'm walking around like a zombie all the time and just feeling miserable and sad and don't have time to shower, and, you know, all that good stuff that people talk about, or not so good stuff that people talk about. So in terms of that, no. Breastfeeding, you know, it's just all different. So no, it's not what I expected, but I did expect to fall in love with my little one, which I did. So, you know, my favorite part about motherhood, to be honest, is one-on-one time with the baby. So especially during the daytime, now that he laughs and smiles a lot, or jumps and giggles, or whatever, you know, all that little stuff, sometimes I'll be sitting down and then we're watching TV, or I'm watching TV, and I'm assuming he's looking at the screen too, because that's, you know, his thing to do. And then I'll just look across at him and he's just looking at me, and then he smiles as soon as I turn my head and look at him. So little stuff like that, that's really my favorite. What are you binge watching now? To be honest, well, my husband and I, we binged watched a series on Netflix actually this past weekend. Manifest, the whole thing. I think it's 2 seasons actually, but before that I wasn't binging anything. Mostly Disney Plus. So since the baby turned about 2 months, I put him on to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, so we watched that every day until, you know, it finished, and then we moved on to something else, PJ Masks or something else. But he loves Dave and Ava, so I watched that all the time. He loves the alphabet train. He likes hearing, you know, the alphabet being said or numbers being recited, so he'll, you know, look at the visuals on the TV and so on. So that's really what I'm watching now. I'm not really binging anything. Is, or does breastfeeding hurt? For me, I've said this in my previous video, I never had any issues with the baby latching on, to be honest. And it's not that it hurts. For me, it's uncomfortable. It's been uncomfortable. It's a new experience. The other night though, I think this was maybe Friday or Saturday. He doesn't have any teeth and he's not teething, I assume. He kind of clamped down on my breast. But I think the reason it hurt for me, and it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't do this, painful. It was just, something that caught me off guard, is because I pump. And sometimes if I don't pump like on time or so on, and my breast gets like, really swollen and so on, if I take a long time to pump, then they get really sensitive once I do decide to pump. And because I had pumped a little bit before that, before I breastfed him, my breasts were tender, and so that's what caused the reaction, like the start. I was a little bit startled, but it wasn't painful like, oh my god. But I know a lot of people who say breastfeeding hurts, and I don't know if it's because my baby doesn't have teeth as yet, because I know some people talk about when they get teeth it hurts and so on. So I'm assuming that's what they're referring to when they refer to pain. But for me, no, it doesn't hurt. Pumping also doesn't hurt either, to be honest. For me, that's me. I don't know about anybody else, anybody else's experience. I don't know if it's that I have tough breasts or nipples or whatever it is, but no, it doesn't hurt for me. Did you use numbing cream when you started breastfeeding? No. When I was pregnant though, I did consider it, based on research and so on. So I know a lot of people who were talking about using it. This brand Lanolin or something like that, it comes in like a purple container or so on. I considered getting it, but what I didn't understand is, how does it numb my breast but it doesn't numb like the baby's mouth or cause any issues? So I decided not to get it. But there are people who swear by it, of course, if you check the internet. But for me, I've never had any issues with breastfeeding. I've never had any issues with pain and so on. So maybe if you are expecting and you feel like it's painful for you, then maybe you can check with your doctor and see if it would work for you. But maybe when my baby gets teeth and I'm still breastfeeding, I will consider it if it gets painful. But for now, no, I've had no reason to use it. Your baby's sleep schedule like now versus newborn stage? Okay, when my baby was a newborn, because they call that what, the fourth trimester, so that's between coming from the home from the hospital, being born, to the end of 3 months. So I'm coming out of that newborn stage now, as they call it. My baby initially would get up, well, I'd have to feed him every 2 hours. They'll tell you every 2 hours, right? If you're breastfeeding, feed them every 2 hours. I think if the baby gets formula, it's something else, but I can't speak from a formula standpoint because I don't give my baby formula. It's just breast milk, right? So newborn stage, I was feeding every 2 hours. Now, if he does wake up, like sometimes I'll sleep away and then I'll realize like 5 o'clock in the morning when he wakes up, then I'll be like, oh no, he didn't feed last night or whatever. But they'll tell you now that they're older, like if they're hungry, they'll wake up, right? It's just how you feel as a mother. Sometimes it's guilt to guilt. I think there's motherly guilt a lot. So for me, sometimes I'll get up and feed him, even he's still sleeping, I'll feed him, burp him, put him right back to bed, and he has not stirred, right? Now that he's 3 months, he is sleeping through the night, or at least sleeping sometimes 8 hours. I have an app on my phone as well that keeps track of everything. So once he goes to sleep, then I press it start. When he wakes up, stop. So I know how long he slept for. If he's awake, I know how long he's been awake for, and so on. So for the most part, he has already slept non-stop for 9 hours plus, right? So he'll sleep through the night. Sometimes, like now, I've noticed last night he would go to bed his usual time. So he went to bed his usual time, which is like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock sometimes. And last night he got up like half an hour after he went to bed, and he didn't go back to bed until 1 o'clock this morning. So which was fine because I wasn't super tired or anything. I was just wondering, oh my god. But then I read up on it, you know, sleep regression they called it, and I was like, oh okay, well, it's normal when they're getting to 4 months, or when they're 4 months, you know, that happens and so on. So, and he's 4 months this week. So yeah, but basically he's sleeping through the night now because he has been doing that for maybe about 2 weeks now, no issue. So yep, I don't know what I did. I really didn't do anything. So I know people will be like, oh, how did you do that? You know, I didn't do anything. He's been like a super calm baby, a really sweet baby. Any advice on bassinet versus crib for the first few months? Advice? No, I don't have any advice. When I was pregnant, I looked into both bassinets and cribs. Currently we have a mini crib that he sleeps in, wooden mini crib basically, and it converts as well as he grows. But I mean, it depends on, you know, his size eventually, like, you know, how tall he's going to be and so on by a certain age. So of course will change. But when it comes to, like, you know, telling you, oh, choose a bassinet or choose a crib, to be honest, no, I don't really have an advice on that. I think it'll be your preference, really. You know, whatever you think the baby will be more comfortable in, and also space wise. So we chose a mini crib rather than a big crib because of where we are, and we didn't need a big crib either. So yeah. So cost, just look into, you know, the cost of whichever one, which is more cost effective for you, your space that you're in, comfort for the baby, you know, just you know, if you'll be able to afford, you know, changing, you know, if you get a bassinet, how big the bassinet's going to be, how long it will be able to last, the weight that it will hold, and so on. Right. Also answer these questions as well if you're a mother, to let us new mothers or expecting mothers or those who hope to be mothers in the future, you know, let's hear how you answer those questions as well. I'd love to hear as well, you know, especially the one about what's your favorite part about being a mother and so on. So go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. I'll be looking out for those. Any really helpful postpartum products for mommy? When I was pregnant, I looked into a lot of postpartum things. One of the main things that I got, because I actually have it still and I really wanted it, because I was like, oh, what if I tear and so on. I want to make sure that, you know, you know, it's taken care of. It's a sitz bath. It's called a sitz bath, SITZ. That you put water in and warm water, and you sit in it over the toilet and so on, and give yourself like a little bath. I plan on using it for like steaming and so on, but I never had any use for it. But I thought that would really come in handy. I saw a lot of people talking about it and so on. I bought mine from, I think it was Walmart that one came from actually, but I know it was also on Amazon. So you could look into that if you want to. Products, maybe just skincare for me. Bio oil and vitamin E oil has done a great deal for me, and I also have a face that toner that has really helped me to get my color back, because when I got pregnant I got very dark, and I'm still darker than I was, but the witch hazel has really helped me to, you know, bring up my color, you know, bring it my complexion back, because it was just some parts of me that were darker than some, not the entire body. Even like my belly got really dark and so on. So that's really helping me. Bio oil is one. I got like 3 boxes of bio oil when I was pregnant, that I started using. I had no stretch marks at all, and until after I gave birth. Actually, that's when my stretch marks came. I don't know, they just came all of a sudden. But bio oil as well has been really helpful, especially on my belly, to get my color back too. So yeah, any other things I find that I did buy that I have, then I'll definitely put here on the screen or in the description below, so don't forget to check. All right, yeah, so the last question I'll answer, because I don't want to take all night, is there anything you miss from before the baby? It's hard to explain, but I miss me. I don't completely feel like myself as yet, you know, after giving birth. I mean, I feel like somebody new, like I feel like somebody different. It's hard to explain. Like I've said before, I haven't been depressed or anything, but I've just felt different, like not like myself. And then it's comforting to know that there are a ton of people that feel this way or felt that way when they became mothers as well. And that's why I said I'm going to go ahead and post the comments that people said, which is amazing, because I didn't expect so many people to reply and, you know, say all that they said. And it's the weirdest thing, because, you know, you never really hear anybody talk about, you know, pregnancy and, you know, the postpartum aspect of it. It's always all cute and, you know, you're glowing and, you know, the whole works. And I'm so happy, I'm so blessed. And, you know, nobody ever really talks about the bad in it, you know, aspect. And so it's good. Like I said, like a ton of people replied, which is amazing. You know, some people, you know, I'm trying to find some, but like I said, I will definitely post, because some people sent me voice notes and, you know, messages like that, you know. So I'll post some of them so you can see and read them. And if it is that you want to reach out to me separately to get, you know, a little bit of feedback about what other people said, and, you know, if you are in that postpartum stage and you want to talk to somebody, you know, to try to relate how you're feeling, then you can definitely reach out to me. You can send me a DM, or you can just send me a message, whichever it is, and I'll be more than happy to talk it out with you, because really that's what this platform is for me. It's my open diary. You share with me, I share with you, type of thing. And I just want to be myself. I just want to tell you how I feel. Like I said, a lot of people don't talk about this stage, you know, the bad in it, that, oh my god, you're so happy that you have a newborn baby, but then at the same time you feel so irritated and angry and you don't know where it's coming from. So yeah, don't forget to like this video, share this video with everybody. You never know who it might help, or who might be waiting to hear this, you know, whatever message it is. And please leave a comment below, and if you have made it to the end of this video, go ahead and leave me a blue heart so I know that you watched the entire video. All right, love you, thank you so much for watching. Walk good until next time. Bye.